For me, any form of social injustice is just wrong. Society should be a place where everybody is equal before the law, irrespective of your positioning, your status, your family, or your background.
The term the gay agenda has quickly come out of nowhere to become a commonly used phrase. Basically, it describes people's complaints at attempts to normalize non-heterosexual relationships. What they're basically saying is that the depiction of LGBT people in mainstream media is an attempt to force people to accept gay people or to turn people gay. My name is Aritokpo, and in today's episode of Untold Facts, we will be unpacking the term the gay agenda. What does it mean, and how does it affect the interaction of sexual minorities with the larger community?
Society should be a place where everybody is equal before the law, irrespective of your positioning, your status, your family, or your background.
And there's this Nigerian staff there. It's always around. Hi!
Hello.
Hi!
Gorgeous.
You look fantastic.
Yellow is your color.
Thank you.
Did you save you with your makeup? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. It's even good. This is what we want to talk about today.
Nice.
This gay agenda of something.
Yes.
I'm going to sit here, please.
I hate that term. I hate that term.
No, but let's be fair, there's an agenda.
Really?
There's
Tell
an
me about
agenda.
it.
There's an agenda. There's an agenda.
Share.
There's an agenda. It's very simple. The ability to live, ability to be human, access to care, access to housing,
In that
education.
case, yes.
There is an agenda.
Okay, Olumide, but you know you're flipping the term.
No, there is an agenda.
But you're flipping the term, and you know it because it didn't start out being so. This is taking ownership now of the term.
Yes, which is a good thing.
Where did it start from? Where did this term, gay agenda, start from?
You know what I think it is?
What do you
In my opinion, people had become so used to people being in the closet, staying in the closet, dying in the closet, and they just were not comfortable with people saying, you know what, I don't tire for this closet.
You know?
I know they do again.
I know they do again.
Where
So
they
that's
come
why
out?
it seems like all of a sudden there's so many gays everywhere. No,
gays.
honey, they have not
Invasion of the
increased.
gays.
They've always been there.
They've always been there. They have just decided that, you know what,
I know they
we
do
are
again.
tired
Exactly.
of hiding because we are not hurting anyone. I mean, you love who you love, and that's fine.
This is it.
And you know, but I mean, this you're saying is actually quite important because there's a conversation around nature, nurture, choice,
That whole
body autonomy.
conversation.
Let's even assuming that orientation is not something emotional, inborn and all of that. I think the right to choice should be free.
Yes.
If you decide to do it today,
That this
I'm
is
all
what I
for
want, yeah.
woman is women. Tomorrow I'm all for men.
That's what people change spec to now. What my spec was when I was 20 something is totally different from what my spec is now at 42. Totally different. Same girl, different spec.
I want us to start with the media. A lot of the backlash about gay people in mainstream media is well, it's worrying. Why do you think people are so bothered about the fact that more and more gay people are being represented in mainstream media? You know, there's a series, there's like
Because
a gay
they
couple.
want you to be ashamed of who
Yeah.
you are, and you should go and sit in the closet and stop coming out.
And
Yes, we know you exist, but we don't have to see you.
Yes, and I think sometimes it's also a reflection of those people inability to be who they want to be.
You know?
And to be.
Why can't you just go and be in one corner like everybody else? Why must you open your mouth? Shut up, my
Just
friend.
own yourself.
Because you know, it comes with the fact that you are a reflection of what they always wished. Yeah, you know, I use someone like Bobrisky for an example. You know, people, people,
I'm his biggest fan. I love him.
you know,
to
now,
death.
So now they say to you, oh, is a gay agenda? People like Bobrisky, people like other people who are
Who's just minding his business.
We're just minding his business. We're
Doing
just
his
happy
makeup.
with his life.
Yes.
Or they say to you, oh, the media is accelerating the gay agenda
What does that mean?
by, you know, serious. And I think little things like this have created fear in the minds of people
Yes.
to even speak. Even people who believe that people should be human, because there is already this big agenda that has been set around, you know, what human rights is supposed to
But
be.
it's all it is basically is looking for representation. You want to know that there is somebody like you
Whether
out
you
there,
like it or not,
you know?
gay people exist.
Gay people, just like anybody else, they live, they love, they have their conflicts, and they want to see those conflicts
Also,
like, represented.
the same way
in
we
the
complain
media.
about, oh, there's not enough black shows, there's not enough representation of strong black women. do you think gay people are not thinking, I want some representation of the
I want
life
to be
I'm
visible.
living too?
Okay,
Because
let me ask you a question. Yeah. So talking about this thing about fear, we're seeing parents, for instance, where you have cartoons or movies that are depicting, gay relationships, parents responding with panic about people trying to convert or initiate their children. Now, my question usually is, nobody is converting children to being heterosexual. So how do you think it's possible to
convert
make
them
a
to
child
being gay.
I think that's also another, really crazy thought in our head. Because if we're going to think about conversion and recruitment, like they like to use the word, I think the straight people in this world are enough to recruit all gay, lesbian, bisexual people
everybody.
to become straight. Everybody to become straight.
And that clearly hasn't happened.
And it's not going to happen.
Because you are what you are. And, I have people argue with me about, oh, no, nobody's born gay. And I'm like, no. Trust me when I tell you that there are people that are born gay, because I know people that wish they weren't on a daily basis.
No, but you hear stories of suicide.
Yes.
Of mental illness.
So
of
do you think
depression.
if they could help it, they would?
They would.
Why would anyone deliberately choose this life for themselves?
And constantly perform when they don't want to publicly be known as a gay person or as a lesbian person. And I keep saying we still don't understand the damage of performing. So
yes, you talk about that a lot.
Yes,
you talk about that a lot.
Because everybody is constantly performing in this society. People are performing to be straight. People are performing to be, what they are not.
You basically,
I've heard that
you
as well.
basically dim your light.
Yes, and let their own light shine.
No,
And you are looking for torchlight to move.
to move. Boki, you said something about religion and how religion has influenced this whole concept of the gay agenda. What role do you think the church has played in this suspicion and this, fear of homosexual people that are just living their lives?
I'm probably one of the wrongest people to ask. Because
Why do you think so?
As most people know, people that know me know, I do not attend church. I identify as Christian because maybe primarily because I was raised that way, if I'm really honest. But I would call myself more spiritual than religious. I believe in doing good, period. I think that anyway, let's not get into my personal religious agenda. But I find it offensive that this same church that preaches love over everything else.
No, you can't love everybody. You see.
You
everybody
love
doesn't
everybody. They say love your neighbor as
qualify.
yourself, but only if it's straight. Come on.
But it's also the fact that I think sometimes we don't know how political and how commercial the church has become.
This is
I'm a
exactly.
Christian. I was born into a Christian background, and I'm still and I think we share the same ideology. I identify as a Christian, but I'm probably more spiritual than this marking register on Sunday. But the reality is the church is more political, is more commercial.
Yep.
And if being homophobic.
The point remains that the pastor knows that the moment he says, love your neighbor as yourself,
Self.
even as the gays, there are a lot of people that are going to leave his church.
No, but look at...
And if those people leave the church,
No money.
where are the tithes?
No,
Where's
but
the
look at-
offering?
There are three
Where's
of us
the
sitting
this?
down here, Boki. Olumide, we've talked about the fact that more and more young people are stepping away from the ideologies that they grew up with as regards religion. Why hasn't that change infiltrated into the church? Because the average person who considers themselves enlightened will say, okay, no,
Because
I
the
think
young
you're gay,
people,
okay, that's fine.
the young people don't have money. It all comes down to the money. Whether you like it or not, it all comes down to the young people that choose to go somewhere. Now, it's your daddy that pays tithes. It's your daddy that buys cars for pastor. And it's your daddy that we need to keep sweet.
Yes.
And the moment the pastor goes like, there's nothing wrong with gay people, love them. That is going to go like, what? You have joined them. Please, where's the next church?
No, but another thing I'll probably challenge that, because maybe if a lot of pastors are making the daddies and mommy feel like there's nothing wrong with gay people, maybe the daddy won't feel worried.
It's so ingrained. And you have to remember that these pastors, to the best of my knowledge, you see these daddies, the big daddies, they are like the august to the pastor. So the pastor, that's why these same big daddies can beat up their wives, and the wives report to the pastor, and the pastor say, let's pray about this. Because how are you going to tell your God that he messed up?
But then again, we're seeing so many incidences of religious leaders who, after very vocally bashing the gay agenda, are now found to either be gay or have some sort of sexual assault issues. So doesn't it now
It
talk about
is
an
the
underlying
same
issue?
thing. It's that same thing. You hate what you are.
And so you're condemning everybody who is
Yes.
living the truth that you're afraid
Yes,
to live.
because you wish you could. But you see, because of the society we live in and the expectations society might have of you, rightly or wrongly, you hold it all in. But Agracha must come back. Yes. It always all comes out in the open. Somehow, sometimes it comes out when you're dead. When your gay lover now comes out and say, you know what, I'm tired of lying, I just have to tell the truth. I've been in a relationship with this man for 30 years. Then everybody's like, eh? Don't speak evil of the dead. But it is what it is. We find it very difficult coming to terms with what we are. You know, sometimes I get very critical, but at the same time I kind of understand. Is this same society we live in that someone said that they would kill their child if they heard they were gay? If they could confirm they were gay, and they were not joking.
So my question, and this is a question I oftentimes like to ask, what exactly is the fear of parents in accepting their own children? Is it the fear of people saying to them within the society that you're a failed mother, you're a failed father, because you try to be gay?
But you know how what
exactly
exactly
it is?
But have you forgotten? Parents, even when your child does badly in school, you feel bad about it.
Yes.
And it's usually the mother.
Because we're the ones that take all the brunt of everything. When your child is good, is the father's child. When the child is bad, is the mother's child. That's just life. Now, even your child.
So all of us are today, what are we? Mother's child.
We're children.
Mother's child.
We're somebody's child.
I don't. My mom would definitely tell you that I'm her child.
But I think that's the thing, because for so many parents on the continent, their children are a reflection of them.
Yes.
So your child.
So
now
this
becoming
being gay,
something-
bam, don't do this to me. I have a friend. I have a lot of gay friends. I mean, clearly I'm here because you people know how I feel about gay people and their agenda and everything.
And the agenda, I like that one.
Yes,
And the
now.
agenda.
Yes, now. And I get, and what upsets me, what does upset me, actually amuses me. Once I start talking about gay rights, I say, are you gay? I'm
Like, why does that have to
I'm
be
like,
the
you
next
know,
question?
I'm like, you know what, I'm a straight woman, but that's not even the point. Why do I have to be gay to care about how people are treated? Now, a family friend of mine first came out to me when I was 14. This is a very long time ago. And that was probably my first exposure with, and at first I didn't understand. I said, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
She says, I like boys. I'm like, yeah, I like boys too. What's
What's
the point?
the point?
I don't know.
Okay, but this is, you see how easy it is when you say stuff like that. Like, yeah, you like boys, I like boys, we both like boys. We can now sit and talk about the boys that we like. But when
And
it
really,
now-
once he explained it, it's like, I like boys. He now used my brother. I like boys the way Izu likes girls. Because even at that time, my brother was a non-womanizer. He was like 17 or 18. But he liked women. So he said, I like boys. I was like, oh, really? Okay. Tell me.
Tell me what?
So
And that was it.
Where does that fear come in? Because look at that, I mean, to you, that was as easy as it was.
It
Where
was-
does that
it
fear
really
come in
was
when
that
you think
simple.
the more gay
But
people
no,
there are.
but you will have the fear, because if you're born into the Christian family or Muslim family, you go to church on a Sunday, the pastor
But I
constantly
did.
remind you. No, the pastor constantly remind you. No, you might not have that problem, but he to even have that conversation with you, because the
you.
person is saying to you that you're not normal. You're evil.
You are an
Society
abomination.
is saying to you, you're an abomination. Everybody's saying to you, you're not okay. So even to even have a conversation with somebody you like or you find like a mentor,
Yeah.
you think that this person will equally also judge me anyway. At the end of the day, so there's already a state of fear in
Which
you.
for me is one of the reasons why it is important for LGBT people to be able to tell their stories. Because there are people that honestly do not see, and I say this, that I do not believe, not to be controversial in LGBT rights, because they are human rights.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and for the fact, it's hard for me to understand. We had a conversation about the polls, public perception polls, that people think that because your orientation is different from mine, you're not entitled to free healthcare or free education.
And to me, that is the agenda. So you know,
So
this is what
what you're
there
saying
is
is,
an
yes, there is an agenda, but
There
it
is-
is accept us.
the agenda is just the way you woke
we are
up.
just like you. We just don't like the same type of people sexually. I just have a different spec from you. That's all. I wish people would understand that that is
At its
the
most-
bottom line of
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah.
I'm just like you. We just have a different spec.
Yeah. and I just want to sleep and wake up just you do. I want to be able to go to the market like you do. I want to go to shop like you do. I want to go to my like you do. There is, I mean, I think at the point I used to be pretty quite irritated with the word decay agenda, but I think I've come to realize that let's be fair.
Let's take ownership of
an agenda. No, let's even be fair. There is an agenda, and that agenda is clear. I don't want to walk on the streets of Lagos and some police frustrated is asking for the password of my mobile phone. I don't want to walk on the streets of Lagos and you're saying to me, why are you not walking like a boy? Why are you walking like a girl? How does a girl walk? How does a boy walk? So there is that, and the agenda is that I want to be able to walk on the streets of Lagos
without being harassed.
Yes. And then you don't say to me that I'm wearing pink because I'm gay. I want to wear yellow.
I don't have anybody.
I don't have anybody. And you want to do these things too.
I agree.
I mean, look at your lipstick, your hair.
Thank you.
But basically you want to wear lipstick. How does that bother me? It doesn't reduce who I am. It doesn't change anything. And it's not going to change anything. So there is an agenda whether we like it or not. And the agenda is clear. Is that agenda
Let us be. Let us live.
That is the bottom line. Yeah. So what would you say to all those people who fear what they think is the normalization of non-heterosexual relationships, who don't want to see that, yes, gay people love just like you. They have the same issues. Then they find money just like you. Then they go markets just like you. It is basically the same thing, because I think that's what panics people, that you're showing gay people as normal people, which they are. They fear that. Why? What would you say?
I don't think they fear that, Harriet. And
you don't think it's fear?
And she might have a different opinion from me. I think that I always say to people, if you hate gay people, if you hate LGBT persons, you're already full of hate. You don't hate a gay person. You as a person
are full of hate.
You're full of hate already. And you will reflect that same hate on either an LGBT person or
on anybody who does not qualify.
Because the question is, why would anyone say, I will kill my own child if I found out that he or she is gay or lesbian?
I've been going on and on about spec, and I just say that to try and put it down to the basic, people like different things. But of course it goes deeper than that. People have deep, meaningful relationships with people of the same sex with them. And I think that's what the problem, that's what they're scared of. They want to see gay people and they want to see the gay lifestyle as just sexual. Don't mind it. It's just sins of the flesh. They're just they want to try new stuff. They're people that
there's emotion.
There's emotion. They're people that have been in relationships for decades. But they society in general likes to make gay people seem like, they're just sexual deviants. They're people that this is not enough for, so they're trying something else. And that's what scares parents, because they assume that number one is something that can be learned. Because it's seen as sexual deviancy, they think it's something that you can infect their children with.
And it's not a disease.
No, but I'm just telling you how to see it. Because the point is that...
Why are you not a lesbian without the gay friends you have? You should be a lesbian, man.
I should be a lesbian. Because if you were... if this thing were communicable, I would be flying the rainbow flag.
I'm going to leave the two of you, because obviously people are just going off for your own. Thank you so much, Olumide.
Thank you so much, Harry.
Thanks
for coming. Thank you.
For sharing your perspectives.
Thank you.
And at its core, this is what it is. That everybody wants to be able to tell their stories. They want to talk about their success. They want to talk about their failure, their dreams, their hopes. In denying somebody the opportunity to tell their story, you're denying them the ability to be fully themselves. And while you might think that you're doing the right thing in putting people in a box, remember that if it were you being discriminated against for your religion, for your tribe, it would be a prison from which you could not escape. Give people a right to tell their stories. Everybody wants to be represented. Gay people, heterosexual people, everyone. Now, I'd like you to be part of this conversation. Check out our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Share your experiences, share your perspectives using the hashtag Untold Facts too. Have you been discriminated against because you're trying to be yourself? Are you a parent who's actually trying to understand how to engage with your child? Are you somebody that thinks, I know this perspective is wrong. What should I be thinking? We really, really want to hear from you. It's as simple as that. We want to give you a chance to tell your story. My name is Ari Topo. Thank you for watching Untold Facts.